Girl with a Thousand Stories, Chapter 3. I owe her. My mother, my beautiful, beautiful mother, the best woman I have ever known. I would watch her get dressed to go out with her cousin and best friend, and I remember thinking, damn, she is so beautiful. She used to say I look more like my aunt on my father's side, and that used to get on my last nerve. The only memories I had of my aunt was of her being strung out on crack, looking nothing like herself. So I never wanted to look like her. Folks would say, your auntie was cold back in her day, but I didn't care. I wanted to look like my mother. Light, caramel complected, thick curly hair, a natural beauty without even trying. My grandmother had some of the most beautiful daughters you could have ever seen. And my mother was the baby. Yes, she was spoiled. She needed that extra love because her biological father died before she even knew him. And the stepfather she did know died when she was still a young girl. So my grandmother held her a little closer. I don't know if that made some of my aunts upset or if they just didn't realize how much their comments cut her and cut us. Me and my second brother talk about it all the time. The struggle, the joy, and the way we never forgot the name calling and the bullying they put her through. Fat Vaughn. That's what they called her. But child, my mother was thick in all the right places, and the man never had a single complaint. She was beautiful inside and out. My mother worked factory jobs my whole life. She was married a few times too. Her first husband was my older sibling's father. Married her when she was just 16 years old. At that time, she already had 3 children. He beat her. He cheated on her with people close to her. And still, my mother would forgive because she was raised to forgive and forget. Then she married my father. She loved him, but she wasn't about to be disrespected again. The moment he cheated, she got her shit and got up out of there. No hesitation. There were boyfriends in between. Not worth mentioning, except that one who used to give me $5 every time he saw me, though he was crazy as hell. And then there was one that had the hazel eyes who turned out to be a narcissist before I even knew what that word meant. He played entirely too much and too rough. He picked me up once and slammed me into a window frame so hard my back felt like it broke. But back then, you walked everything off because we were built different. And then came Jeffrey, my sweet, sweet Jeffrey. I need you guys to understand when I'm telling these stories that Jeffrey has always been around in and out of my mother's life since I was a baby. Jeffrey has always loved my mother. That is the fondest memory that I have of any man that has ever been in my life, because this is how much I knew this man loved my mother. And this is the first man that I ever saw give love to a woman. And this is why I loved and respected Jeffrey so much. But I digress. My mother and Jeffrey actually got their marriage license. They just never got it officiated. It didn't matter though. That was my stepfather, with or without the paper. He showed up for me. He came to my open houses. If my mother needed anything, he would come see about us no matter what woman he was with or what he was doing. He was smart as hell too, known around the neighborhood as the tax man. But he had his demons. Alcohol was the one he couldn't shake. When he drank, things got violent and chaotic. I saw him push my mother down the basement stairs. I saw her throw all his shit out the window, but she kept the Rolex. He stood outside yelling, "Give me my watch, give me my shit." And she shouted back, "I ain't giving you shit. Get it from that other bitch." Because, oh yeah, he had an entanglement. And a mother who couldn't stand how much he loved my mom. His kid's mother was full of drama too. When my mom refused to marry him, his kid's mother started threatening to take the children away. He married her in secret, or at least he thought it was in secret until my mother found out. That woman would drive by our house shooting in the air. I remember the gunshots like they're still ringing in my ears. One night when my mom came home and we told her, she disappeared into her bedroom for a moment, then walked right out the house with Jeffrey's gun. Later, we learned she went straight to that woman's house, opened her front door, walked in, and said, "If you ever come by my house again, I will kill you and everybody in here." And honestly, I can't even blame her. You don't mess with a woman, kids. Then came husband number 3. A neighborhood man she swore wasn't on drugs. But I know a crackhead when I see one. And then her last husband. The one she's been married to for over 20 years, separated for half of it, but still married because he truly loved her. We didn't trust him at first because he wasn't much older than my oldest brother. But looking back now as a grown woman, he loved her, and he still does. Then came 2001. I was 16, pregnant, and everything at home started to shift. My snitching ass sister Trish told on me. "Auntie, Megan got something she want to tell you." Girl! My mother turned around and said, "You better not be telling me you pregnant," and walked out the door to head to work. Man, that woman's intuition ain't no joke. Around the same time, my mother started changing. She started crying, and she cried and cried and cried. Nobody listened. Then came the panic attack that took her out of work. Then the anger. This woman who barely cursed was cussing everybody out, but we ignored the signs. Then she stopped sleeping, stopped eating, started slipping into different personalities. 8 months pregnant, me laid across the couch because I was too big to take my big ass up the stairs. My grandmother had moved back into Cleveland to help out with my mother. One night, a version of my mother came downstairs. She didn't look at my face. She kept her eyes closed. She put a hand on my stomach and said, "This will be a boy, and he will be great." We didn't even know what I was having because the ultrasound couldn't tell, but she knew. She said my mother was safe and happy, and the only way she'd come back is if I truly, really needed her. I started to cry, and I cried out, "I need her. I need my mommy because I can't do this by myself." She got up and she walked away. Later that night, she came downstairs naked, speaking like a toddler. She ran into my grandmother's bedroom and she was saying that she needed to go back in. She wanted to go where? And then it dawned on me. She wanted to be reborn. She ran toward danger, and my brother barely stopped her from slicing her neck. My beautiful, fragile mother, handcuffed for her own safety, and me, 8 months pregnant, watching everything fall apart. I stood with her through years of hospitals, breakdowns, personalities I didn't recognize, words she didn't mean. "I wish you were never born. I don't love you. I only wanted my boys. I took it all," because she had taken so much from me. And because I felt like I caused it. And God knows I caused her many sleepless nights too. All the times I ran away, the hours, the days, the weeks, the years she didn't know if I was alive. I didn't understand back then the fear she lived with. Sitting by the door waiting calling around the neighborhood, asking family, praying I walk back in. She didn't deserve that, but she loved me through it anyway. So, yes, I owe her, not because she ever demanded it, but because she gave me everything she had, even when she had nothing left. Mental illness is not a weakness. Stress is not weakness. Breaking is not weakness. Being overwhelmed is not weakness. It is human. If you are hearing this, and if you have ever loved someone through their breaking, or if you were the one who broke, I want you to understand something deep. Love in real life is not pretty. It is not polished. It does not walk in with clean hands. Love is messy. Love is exhausted. Love is stubborn. Love is holding on when everything in you wants to give up. And if you have ever stayed beside someone when they weren't themselves, if you have ever held a mother through her heartbreak, or been the child who kept running because you didn't know how to stay, or grown into a woman trying to make sense of traumas you didn't ask for, you are not weak. You are not damaged. You are not beyond healing. You are brave in the quietest, realest ways. You learned how to hold a family together when nobody held you. You learned how to forgive people who didn't know how to love you properly. You learned how to survive storms. You were way too young to understand, and still somehow you kept your heart. You didn't just survive what happened. You kept going. You built a life from pieces. You loved people who didn't know how to love themselves. You carried guilt that never belonged to you, and you are learning now, slowly, painfully, beautifully, that you deserve softness too. You deserve peace. You deserve rest. You deserve healing without guilt attached to it. And you deserve a life that doesn't hurt to live. You're still rising, and you're still growing. And your story is just getting started. Ashe.